I've entered into a new phase of my life, one that I can no longer fight or deny. I am officially an old hoe. Yeah, you heard me right. I just called myself an old hoe. This started out as a joke, right? I would be like, yeah, y'all, I'm an old hoe, ha ha ha, joking and shit. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, this is not a joke. I seriously am an old hoe. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to embrace my old hoe era. Welcome to the Gorgeous Guru podcast. I'm your host, Day, the Gorgeous Guru. If you're craving real talk, inspiration, and soulful guidance, you're in the right place. So tune in, get comfortable, and get ready to be inspired. Hey, welcome into another episode of the Gorgeous Guru. I'm so glad you're here with me today. When I got into my 40s, I started meeting younger guys. So as I'm dating, I'm noticing I'm meeting guys that are younger than me, less seasoned than me, and less mature than me. Being around them would make me feel old, but not in a bad way. I just felt wiser and more mature than the men I was meeting. So more recently, I started referring to myself as an old hoe. And like I said initially, it was a joke. It was something that I would be talking to friends and family, and I'd be like, oh, y'all, I'm an old hoe now. One day I was chilling with my girlfriends, and I broke the news to them. I was like, okay, ladies, we're officially old hoes now. Two of my girlfriends laughed hysterically, while my other girlfriend started screaming, no, that's not true. She said, we're not old. So then my other girlfriend starts dying. She's like, wait, so you're okay with being called a hoe, but you're not okay with being called old. And we're all laughing, but I started to explain to them why I was saying that we're old hoes now. So let's get into the old hoe criteria. And if you check each of these boxes, honey, you are an old hoe. And this is for the women specifically. Okay, so number one thing that makes you an old hoe is if you are in perimenopause or full-blown menopause. If you haven't reached that yet, don't worry, you're not yet an old hoe. Number two thing that makes you an old hoe. You no longer suffer for love or let men play in your face. So if you're just at a stage in your life where men can't play with you, where you don't let people lie to you and cheat on you and mislead you and abuse you, you're just over it. Honey, you have entered into your old hoe era. And the third way you can tell if you're an old hoe is you still got it. You can easily attract admirers and interest from pretty much anyone you want, and even some people you don't want. And I have to say something about number three because I've been coming across content from older women, and these women are complaining that men are not talking to them. Oh, they're so lonely. No man talks to them. And to be honest, I can't relate to that, and neither can my friends. Men talk to us on a regular basis, and I wonder about those women. Are they paying attention when they're out in public? Do they smile? Do they flirt? Do they make eye contact? It's so easy to get men to talk to you. So I really don't understand that. Anyway, like I said, I can't relate, honey, because, honey, I don't have no problem in that department. I still got it and I'll always have it. So if you have all three of these, you are officially an old hoe. You have entered into your old hoe era, okay? And I think we need to get to a point where we're embracing this status. So old hoes are self-assured, confident, wise, and empowered. To me, that's what makes you the quintessential old hoe. You're at this point in your life where you're moving beyond your childbearing years. You no longer allow yourself to be played with. And you are still taking care of yourself, going out and doing things. And as a result, you are attractive to others. In certain spiritual circles, the old hoe would actually be considered the crone. There are three stages or expressions of womanhood. The first is the maiden. The maiden represents growth, youth, self-discovery, innocence, and naivety. That's the stage where you're younger, you're going through this process of self discovery, you're figuring out who you are, and as a result, you lack wisdom and can be a bit naive. The second stage, or expression of womanhood, is the mother. The mother represents nurturing, responsibility, adulthood, fertility, and fullness. So here you've come into your own. You are an adult, right? You have responsibilities. You may have given birth to a child, or you began nurturing projects and goals and things that are important to you. And lastly, we have the crone. The crone represents a time when women are meant to step into their power. It also represents post childbearing years. And this is where you become the wise elder and a guide for the young. The crone phase is actually what I would consider the old hoe phase, right? Because at this time, you're self assured, you're confident, you're wise, you're empowered. You have stepped into the fullness of your being. Now, there's another version or manifestation of this old hoe experience that I have to touch on. I call them the washed up old hoes. So, what makes someone a washed up old hoe is, let's think about the criteria. Number one remains in place, right? So, washed up old hoes are in perimenopause or full blown menopause. But washed up old hoes will do anything to be in relationship, even if it means degrading themselves, right? Even if it means allowing themselves to be played or stuck in toxic relationships. It's like, in a way, the washed up old hoe has become stuck in her maiden era. And what I mean by that is she's stuck in her maiden era psychologically. She's still naive. She still lacks wisdom, and she doesn't pay attention to her intuition, right? So she'll allow herself to enter into relationships that are counterproductive, counterintuitive, don't serve her, are just no good because she's desperate to be loved. So that's the difference between old hoes and washed up old hoes, is the desperation. And people can smell the desperation on you, you know? And I don't say that from like a high and mighty state because, honey, there was a time when I was younger where I was a young, a washed up young hoe. And I hadn't stepped into my power. And as a result, I was doing the most, honey, and just dating them. Ugh. Anyway. So I don't say that from a place of, being high and mighty. I say it out of love. I have to be honest. I am really enjoying my old hoe status. It feels so good to be in a place where I'm so self assured. It feels really good to be in a place where I'm confident, where I have such a high sense of self value that I won't put myself in situations that are harmful to me. I really do love how this feels. It's liberating. Like, I feel free in my old hoe era. So if you are in your old hoe era, honey, I say embrace it. Don't fight it. It feels so damn good. There are no gorgeous guru prompts today. If you want to join the conversation, you can do so on YouTube or Instagram at the Gorgeous Guru Podcast. And if you're enjoying the podcast, consider becoming a monthly supporter of the show. All of your donations are a great help. You may sign up at thegorgeousgurupodcast.com. Thank you for joining me today. You could have spent this time doing anything, but you decided to spend it with me, and I'm grateful.